In this video, we'll understand the concept of probability. Now, probability is one of the most easiest topic that is in your syllabus, and you should never ignore this topic because you can really score well from this topic. So let's start with the topic. So probability of an event, that is the chances of something happening. For example, you are playing a game. Now there are two chances of like for you. One is you win, one is you lose. So if my question is what is the probability that you will win? So winning becomes my event. So the probability is calculated as probability of an event is equal to number of favorable outcomes upon total number of outcomes. Now for this example, for like the we took now was you are playing a game and what is the chances or what is the probability that you will win? So winning is my event. What are the chances here? So either you will win or you will not win. So chance of winning is 1 and total outcomes, my outcome for winning is 1 and total outcomes are either winning or losing. So we have 2 as the total outcome. So that is what we say 50-50 chances hai or half chance hai. So that's what it is, probability of an event happening. Now the probability of an event can be somewhere between 0 to 1, which means the probability of an event cannot be less than 0, that is it cannot be negative, or it cannot be more than 1 because your total outcomes will always be more than or equal to the favorable outcomes. You can't have more favorable outcomes than the total outcomes. So the probability will always be in the range of 0 to 1. When the probability is 0, we call it as impossible event. Now, for example, if you're given the question like when you throw a dice, what is the probability that you get a number 8? Now, in a dice, you do not have the number 8. You have number from 1 to 6. So, that is what is the impossible event, that this cannot happen. One has the probability, for example, again you are playing a dice and what is the number? Like find the probability of getting a number less than 7. Now less than 7 numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all are the possible outcomes. So in that case my probability is 1. This is called sure event. So this is all about probability. We'll take now there is a concept called complementary events, which means, for example, you win, that's the event. You will not win is the complementary of your event. So if my event is P of E, the complementary part of that would be P of E dash. For example, it will rain is the event, it will not rain, it is the complementary of the events. So the sum of event and its complementary is always equal to 1. It's a very important formula, usually can be asked for the multiple choice questions as well. Now the first case is tossing of coin. Now a coin can be tossed once, twice, thrice and so on. So we have a general formula for total outcomes. For a coin is 2 power n, where n is the number of times we are tossing a coin. So in case a coin is tossed once, the total number of outcomes are 2 to the power 1, which is equal to 2. So that is either head or tail. In case a coin is tossed twice, then it is 2 power 2, which is equal to 4. That is, it can be either H, 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 T, T, H, T, T. In case a coin is tossed thrice, my total outcomes are 8. Now there's a trick to write all the total outcomes. Now we have total outcomes as 8, so we divide this by 2. So we have 4 and 4, so we'll write H 4 times and t 4 times. Now half of 4 is 2, so we'll repeat this process, HH, TT, HH, TT. Now half of 2 is 1, so it will be H, T, H, T, H, T, H, T. So this is how you can write all the possible outcomes. Now in case it is the coin is tossed 4 times, it will be 2 power 4, which is 16. So we write 8 times H, 8 times T, then 4 4, then 2 2, then 1. So in this way you can write the total outcomes in case of a coin. Now let's say a question here. 3 identical coins are tossed. What is the probability of getting all heads? So whenever we are tossing the coin, the outcome should be a head. So in that case, only one is the possible outcome. You will write the favorable outcomes as H, 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 and your answer will be 1. This is your favorable outcome out of 8, so it is 1 by 8. Similarly, when we have exactly 2 heads, so we'll just check here, exactly 2 heads are here, here, here. So we have 3 places where we have exactly 2 heads. So this will be 3 upon 8. In exam, you are supposed to write the favorable outcomes, and then you are supposed to write the formula, and then you are supposed to write it like this, that P of E is equal to 3 upon 8. Next is at least one head. Now when I say at least, it means it has to be one or more than one. It is at least one head, which means it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3 as well, but it cannot be 0. So we'll have all the cases except this, because we need head either 1 or 2 or 3. So in this case, it will be 7 upon 8. The third, last one, at most 2 tails. When I say at most 2 tails, it means maximum it can have 2 tails. It can have 0 also, it can have 1 also, it can have 2 also. But it cannot have more than 2. So again, in the same way, we will have all these numbers only, because when it is more than 2, it will be T, T, T. So we can't include that. We can include 0, we can include 1, we can include 2, because it is at most. So this will be also 7 by 8. So this is the way in which you solve the questions based on the tossing of coin. 3 coins is a very important concept and usually is asked in the examination. The next concept is rolling of a dice. Now we all have played Ludo or Snakes and Ladders. So we know what a dice is. Dice is a cube which has 6 faces. So the numbers are from 1 to 6. So in this case, the total outcomes will be equal to 6 to the power n, where n is the number of times we are rolling the dice. So for example, when I roll the dice once, so in that case the number of outcomes, total outcomes, will be equal to 6. That is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in case we roll the dice twice, that is if n is equal to 2, then total outcomes will be equal to 6 to the power 2, which is equal to 36. So that will be 1 comma 1. So my first time I get 1, second time also I get 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, and so on up till 1 comma 6. Similarly, we do it as 2 comma 1. So my first, on rolling it first time, I get 2, and second time I get 1. So similarly, you get 2, 2, 2, 3, and so on up to 2, 6, and this keeps continuing till 6 comma 1, and it goes up to 6 comma 6. So in this way, you have total of 36 outcomes when the dice is rolled twice. This concept of rolling the dice twice is a very important concept with respect to the exam. Now, let's take a question to understand this concept better. 2 dice are thrown simultaneously. Find the probability of both the dice show the same number. So here we'll write the favorable outcomes here. So for the first case, favorable outcomes will be equal to. Now both the dice should show the same numbers. Will be 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, 5 5 and 6 6. So we'll write all the outcomes here. So the probability of the event is equal to, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of 36, 6 are my favorable outcome and total outcomes are 36, so it will be 1 by 6. Always remember to reduce this to the simplest form. Second case is total sum of numbers is 9. So favorable outcomes is equal to, so for 9 it can be 3 comma 6, it can be reverse also, 6 comma 3, it can be 4 comma 5, it can be 5 comma 4 and then 6 comma 3 we already taken. So these are the 4 favorable outcomes in second case. So probability of the event is equal to 4 upon 36, which is equal to 1 upon 9. Third case, product of the numbers is 8. So favorable outcomes will be equal to 8. So it is, can be 2 comma 4 or it can be 4 comma 2. We don't have 8 as the number on die, so please don't write 1 comma 8 and 8 comma 1. That's not possible. So now probability of the event will be equal to 2 as my favorable outcomes and 36 as my total outcome. So that will be equal to 1 upon 18. So in this way you can solve more questions based on the dice. Now the last concept here is pack of cards, which is your playing cards. So there's a deck of 52 cards. So let's just understand what cards are. Out of these 52 cards, 26 are red colored cards and 26 are black colored cards. Now in the 26 red cards there are two suits. One is called the hearts. Now these are 13 heart cards, which usually looks like this. Then one is the diamonds. If you have seen the cards, they look like this. Again, they are also 13 cards. Similarly, for black cards, there are two suits. One is the spade, which looks like this, and one is the club, which looks like a tree. So these are also 13 cards and these are also 13 cards. So in a deck of 2 cards, a well shuffled deck of 2 cards, there are 26 red cards. In red cards you have hearts and diamonds, and in black cards you have spade and club. If we want to go for the bifurcation here, out of these 13 cards it starts as ace, which is usually called as ikka, and then we have 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on up till 10. These are 2 to 10 your numbered cards, and then we have J, Q, K. These are your face cards. So in all we have 3 face cards in each suit, so which is 3 into 4, that is 12 face cards. So there are 12 face cards out of total 52 cards. Now we'll take a question to understand this concept of cards better. Now let us take a question to understand this concept better. Find the probability of a red card. So we have 26 red cards out of 52. So 26 becomes our favorable outcomes and 52 becomes the total outcome. So this is 26 upon 52, which is equal to 1 by 2. A black ace, which means ace is your A. There are 2 black aces here, one can be club, one can be spade. So this will be 2 upon 52, which is equal to 1 upon 26. A queen or a jack. Now there are 4 queens and there are 4 jacks. Because it is or here, we have to consider both the cases. If it is and, we have to take the combination of both of them. Right now it is or, so we will take either queen or jack. So there are 8 such cards out of 52. So we will simplify this to make it 2 by 13. A face card. So there are 12 face cards. So it will be 12 by 52, which is equal to 3 by 13. So in this way, you can consider the multiple cases. You can try more questions from the textbooks and the reference books for this chapter.